hand you over. Hey, Steve and Andy, what's going on?
Hello, thank you, Scott. All right, making sure I'm off my mute there. Good to go. All right, hello, Andy.
Hey, Steve. Hi, Scott. Hi, everybody.
Hey, everybody. Seems a little lighter today. I think the August Labor Day weekend it just seems a little lighter. You agree with me, Andy? I don't
It
know what the
usually
deal
is.
is.
It seems like it usually is the deadest
Yeah,
week of the year
you're
for some.
right. The
Yes.
week preceding Labor
Historically.
Day is, even people like some of our people here at Trade Ideas and having a lovely staycation here in San Diego. They might not be traveling, but they're probably away from their screens. All right, well, regardless, thanks to you guys who have shown up. And as the rest of you continue to file in, we'll go through the ritual first few slides here. Just a reminder that Andy and myself, we're not professionals in this. Well, we're professional traders, but not in the sense that we're licensed. We're not registered brokers. We're not advisors. We're not really allowed, if you will, to give financial advice. So nothing you see or hear should be construed as such. We're just going to give a couple of opinions and keep it simple. So we've been using this product for 17 years now, and we've seen a lot of changes, all for the better. And Trade Ideas is a program, if you're brand new to it, it's not something you're going to master in the first 3 or 4 days. You really need a good couple of weeks, maybe even a full month. And Scott will talk about some promotions that we have coming up if you're thinking about subscribing for a month. But we want to try and help you guys shorten your learning curve as best as possible. A few ways we do it are with the live trading room here with Barry, day to day, bell to bell. He's pretty much in there doing a very gracious and patient job, sharing his desktop and helping people with trading and or Trade Ideas software, more importantly. And then every day at 12, he takes a break on the noon Eastern time. And one of the 5 of us will fill in here, and we do it in a live stream YouTube format. So this Trade Ideas, as I just covered it, that URL down at the bottom, trade-ideas.com/live, is a redirect. It takes you right to the YouTube stream every day from noon Eastern for about an hour, and then Barry takes it back over. So another free, great, easy place to show up, get your demonstrations for you live, Q&A. We can go back and forth in the chat window because, phone support, it just doesn't work for this kind of stuff. You need visuals and you need some back and forth. So please drop by and help keep the attendance high in these levels, in these webinars. All right, so here we are, man and machine combined, human and machine, whatever you want to call it. Just a weekly reminder that the machines are not going to solve all of our problems for us, but they're going to help us curate a bunch of great ideas, and it's up to us to manage and discretionarily trade those ideas in this respect. And it's going to be like that way everywhere we look, in the medical field, finance, and whatnot. So Trade Ideas is a great place where the human and the machine can marry up together. And we'll try and show you some examples of that, but don't try and do it by yourself, and don't let the machine try and do it for you. You guys need to have a good symbiotic relationship out there. That's just the way things are these days. So I will talk about the market recap. Interesting market for sure. Stocks only go up for the moment until further notice. Another slow Tuesday. I don't know what it is. Maybe the AI just doesn't like Tuesdays. Maybe we should just start heeding that advice and just closing it down on Tuesdays. But Andy will try and scrape together a little bit of value of maybe what happened over there today. Nothing really to write home about. Trade of the week plug. Really slow start yesterday. Had me kind of second guessing it a little bit, but today found its legs, is doing really well. We'll talk about that. And I'm going to continue on a theme that I started on last week. I've been in a Discord room with a lot of new traders that have found their way to the markets here, and they're making all the same mistakes I did, the same mistakes Andy did, and I'm trying to help them shorten their learning curve and make less mistakes and save money on the mistakes they are going to definitely make when they start out, because we all make mistakes. So we're going to play a little game reading the charts, which is really what I'm trying to get them to do, to not just focus on the story, to understand that charts will confirm your story. The market doesn't care about your story if the charts don't comply. You can argue a downtrending stock in a death march for months, and I did it, but I stopped, and we'll try to help you guys do that as well. And a couple other interesting chart setups. We'll play a new game today. I'll go through my positions again and just talk about why I'm in them or why I'm not selling them or where I will sell them, whatnot. Just another exercise in trade management, which I think is certainly valuable. We'll come back to that. We'll start with the trade of the week. And again, really surprised yesterday. I told in Jamie's group that we were probably ready for a bit of a break, a bit of a shower, all that space in between the price and the moving average. And we didn't get it. We didn't get it at all. The market absolutely shunned it, bucked it, and moved higher into all-time highs in the S&P. There's no bear case to be made here. And what I'm going to say now is I think we might be on the verge. Let's just use this as our illustrator. The Qs. We might be on the verge of the fear of missing out, melt up rally that could lead to a capitulation top. We all know what a capitulation bottom looks like. Everybody panics and coughs up their shares in fear because they can't take the pain anymore. But the capitulation to the upside is the exact inverse. People have been waiting in cash. They've been waiting for a pullback. They never got their pullback. They're tired of watching everybody else make money, and they just finally throw themselves at the market. And I think that might be what we could be heading for. What do you think, Andy? I caught you off guard.
No, no. I was listening. I just had it on mute. Yes, you're correct. I mean, when it gets like this and you start seeing these numbers that these stocks are trading at, these valuations, a lot of them, But the thing about it is you don't want to try to jump in front of it. I mean, it's coming. We're obviously going to have a pullback. Just when it's going to be.
Oh, it's going to correct. It's going to correct beautifully at some point, but I think it's going to get really crazy before it does. So I'm not really saying what to do here. I'm just noticing that we're starting to get in a little bit of pre-parabolic land. And I just want to remind you guys that markets can capitulate on the downside of fear, and they can capitulate on the upside of fear of missing out as well. And we might be running into that. There's absolutely no case to be short here, unless you like losing money. And when we zoom out here, we can literally see the new economy. If you're not digitally positioned as a service or retail or whatever type of company you're doing, you may have lost the game by now. We don't see certain names on this move anymore. There have been some roadkill along the way for sure, but there's been a lot of really interesting new plays to come out from this. And the NASDAQ is, look at that, it is just unbelievable. So we will correct. I don't know when. I'm not saying to jump in and do anything. I think you need to play very lightly in this volatile market. When we start to get in these types of days, a little bit of share size can go a long way. So if you're going to play, just play in first gear, second gear. Don't go crazy because things can get really out of hand quickly if you're on the wrong side. Other than that, that's all I really have for the general backdrop of this market where we can't get a pullback. We just cannot get it. I thought we might start one yesterday, but nope, reverse, boom, move higher. Mm-hmm. The flywheel of momentum, the shorts cover, cry, do it again, cover, cry, and just repeats itself, and it's going to blow off in a blaze of glory at some point. But I'm not complaining because my 401k is going up and buying stuff.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, Zoom Media is the poster child of when you look back in no time in history has companies seen a black and white injection of demand and cash so quickly. As we've seen, in Zoom Media is the poster child without a doubt because everybody understands why Zoom Media is up tenfold since last year. It's a no-brainer. Everybody's using it. All right. Won't get too bogged down on that. You want to talk about anything over there in the AI land? If not, let me know. I don't mind.
Yeah. There's no use of me adding my 2 cents. And what else is there to say about the markets? We're just nothing goes up. It just goes up. That's what the market does. All right, let me steal it away from you, Steve. And no, this is not today in the AI, but I did want to show you, since we don't have webinars on Fridays, this was the Friday edition of the artificial intelligence, and a dozen trades, not one loser. So there are great days out there. It's just unfortunately something about Terrible Tuesday. It just lately it hasn't performed very well. In most cases, it's not bad. In most cases, it seems like it's just kind of breaking even. But today, it just wasn't a whole lot good. Let's put it back on today. That was Friday, a banner day for the AI. Now we're going to go to real time, and really, there's just not a whole lot to talk about here. We got one trade we can talk about. I was doing a one-on-one today when a couple of trades came out. And of course, I always get asked, you know, how do I trade the AI? And I've told you guys in here, you know, if I don't like a chart, I'm sorry, I'm just not going to take it. I'm not going to take it just because the AI, even though it has statistical backing behind it and all that, still, I know every day is different. There's some things I don't take. A prime example is this PRTH today. When I look over here and see a daily like this and a stock in the just going nowhere fast, I mean, that's just a messy chart to me. There's no breakout. Now, let's take a look at that versus the difference between our moderate profit winner, Gamestop. There you go. You had a nice little breakout monthly, several monthly high here going back to yesterday. Yes, it's extended. You got to be careful with these, but still, you know, there's the call. It did not stop out. And if you hold it all day, there's a nice little profit there. Not much as far as a monetary gain, only about, you know, 30 or 40 cents, but that's still a moderate profit of almost 5% there in GameStop. All right. Other than that, Kirk had potential. I think it's one you got to watch out of. As a matter of fact, this came on this pullback above. Anyway, it came on that one. This pullback above 50 SMA Pro right there. These are the kind of setups I like. Okay, guys, when I'm looking at my pullback above 50 SMA. Recently at a multi-month high, look at the pain that a lot of people had to endure. You had 4 straight days, and then you had your setup bar right here where it tried to sell off lowers. Buyers came in and pushed it to the top of its zone. Boy, this is where I put an alert in there, and if it takes out that high, I give it a shot in some cases. Not always, but if they look that good, yes, I will definitely, even though it's below the 10 and 20, I'm okay with that. On the big picture, if I'm a swing trader and I see something like that, I'm okay with it, you know, because really when it comes to the, for me, when it comes to like taking a position trade, I think the 50 is probably more important than the 10 and 20. Not a momentum trade, okay? It's different when you're looking at a momentum stock like NEO, which I did add today. You know, and it pulls back right here. I want it to hold those kind of levels. This is a momentum stock. You don't want it to break that momentum. But if you're looking for, you know, something that you're going to take just position trade, you know, I'm okay with, you know, playing off the 50 for sure. But, you know, other than that, guys, it's just, yeah, there was a couple of shorts here. It did not work. WGO tried to work right there. Nice little call. It was in the money for a while, but let's face it, shorting has not been easy in this market. So eventually it dug in, buyers came in and pushed it higher. But that's about it. Good thing about it is not a lot of trades today. So nothing real damaging to the overall Holly numbers, but just another ho-hum Tuesday. All right, Steve, I'll shoot it back to you.
I was speaking today in the noon session about the moving averages I like, and I kind of came up with, you know, just I didn't really put it in words before, but the 10-period moving average here, this is your line of momentum. Price that's adhering to that line is momentum. I'm going to call that the momentum line. We're going to call this the 20. We're going to call this the trend line, because a lot of times, we talked about last week, we might break the 10 but pick up that 20, and the 20 is usually kind of in line with the trend of the lower left to upper right. And then the 50, as Andy mentioned a bit ago, the 50 is kind of the bedrock of all stocks, because I'd like to know, it's binary. Is the stock above its 50? Okay, I might take a look. Is the stock below its 50? I don't care. I really don't care. That's really probably the number one black and white scenario line in the sand, the 50-day moving average. So that tells me, the 50 tells me, is the stock healthy or is it not healthy? The 20 tells me, is it in its trend or above its trend or not? And then the 10 tells me, is it riding the momentum, which we love to see? And in this case, we are. So let's just get right. Actually, let's backtrack 1 week. Xilinx, as Andy mentioned earlier, and as I just spoke of a moment ago, remember last week we bought the trade of the week off of the 50-day moving average. Nice push off of it, zero pain whatsoever, a very safe entry, not like these up here where they break and then we have to regather them and they recollect themselves down here. Well, we used this collection basin down here as an established point, and it worked. And sideways action coming into today, and a beautiful, nice close, green candle just peeking its little turtle head above that 20, and I think tomorrow could be decent for Xilinx. So that was last week. This week we went back to the A table, looking for stocks that on the momentum, trying to find some sideways action into momentum. So let's do this. Going into the weekend, I gotta really crank this down. 1, 2, that's what we had going into the weekend. A beautiful push higher, pullback, gathering and testing and passing of the 10-period moving average. And then we got a little bit of both worlds this time. We got not only a pullback in price, but we got a bit more consolidation in time over the sideways action. And this is really what I love to look for off that A table, is sideways consolidation into this moving average. Well, yesterday we got a trigger because we took out the high as we asked. And then it just sat there, and I thought, okay, well, and this is a great segue for what we're going to do a little bit later. Let's take a look here. The closing price, $12.98. The 10-period moving average was 5 cents higher. Well, this becomes that gray area you've heard me talk all the time about. You know, when the stock closes below the 10-period moving average, generally I'm going to want to get out. But when it does it and puts up a bit of a fight, like this one did, it was basically a spinning top doji that closed, give or take 5 cents, margin of error, I'm going to call it, I stayed in. And we are happy we stayed in because we got a nice big push today, good volume. And I think we could have some follow through tomorrow and hopefully a test of this high back here. So really a nice test of patience, and we got what we were waiting for. And for those of you who have, excuse me, read the ebook on swing trading, this A table scan is in there. And I talk a lot about how I like to use it. And this is really just a textbook move higher. So hopefully we'll get some follow through tomorrow. And I, for one, if we do get a nice push higher, we'll probably be selling, because you guys know day and a half is what Andy and I like to look for. And swing scalping is kind of like surfing, okay? We position ourselves, wait for the wave, start paddling, we get our ride, take it into a second day, and before the lunch hour of the second day, if you don't start selling, you might be remiss if you did. So we'll talk more about how to exit those trades as well, but no harm, no foul in plug. It didn't really give us too much scare. I'm sorry if somebody's seeing a black screen. I think we're all seeing the other screen. It should be good. All right, is the AI strategies tab, AI assistant, AI strategy tab. I don't have that up, so I'm not really sure. Analog to surfing. Yes, okay, so that is our segment on the trade of the week. It's doing well. Last week's trade of the well, Xilinx, is also doing well. Here's what I'd like to do now. I'm going to remind you guys that I'm in that Discord room trying to help a lot of newer traders. And I think one of the quickest ways we can help newer traders not lose money is show them when the chart no longer supports the story. Now, the story might be there, but the market's just not seeing it. You can't argue with these stocks. I'm going to show you about 10 or 11 small cap stocks, names you haven't heard of before. And we're going to go back in time and play the time machine game. And remember, I talk all the time about using that closing candle, wait for the market to close. Wait for the last 5 minutes of the day before you decide if you're going to exit or stay for another day. And I like to see the price close back above the 10-day moving average. Here in plug, yesterday it gave us a little bit of a, you could go either way, but it didn't scare me out. So what I want to do is I'm going to start over here on this screen. So we got to make sure we don't cheat. Let me get all my charts over here. And I'm going to start. And I'm going to do it like this. All right. First one, TMST. I don't know who they are, what they do. This is Steel Corp. Okay. But let's say you love this stock and you're just so excited and you bought it. But this is all I'm doing when I'm gauging these small caps. This looks like it closed below the 10 period. So, you guys are welcome to chime in if you want. It's a game. Would you stay in this trade or would you get out? This one's pretty close too. This was a close of 27 when the 10 period moving average was at 30. So only 3 cents below, but it didn't close above. I don't know. Let's see. Let's move forward. Oh, worked out that if you had adhered to that, let's do that again. If you had adhered to getting out, if it didn't get you out the first day, that second day should have gotten you out. Too many topping tails. I like that, Stephen. Save that thought. It's a good thought. Oh, it's trying to come back. Nope. No, look how much anguish we just saved ourselves, okay? You can always get back in. But I did this too. I had a couple of albatrosses. Every day I'd come in and they would just suck the life out of me and hurt my P&L because I refused to get out of them because I knew the story and I thought I was early and the market just was missing the story. Well, the market's not missing the story if the chart looks like that. Let's do another one. This is one they've been talking about a lot lately in this chat room. So let me blow this one up as well. We'll do it this way, okay? All right, IZEA. Well, it flirted with disaster. Actually, this is what I meant to do. Shit, I blew it. This is where you should have gotten out, okay? It tried to get back above, and look, I don't believe it's ever going to get back above this. Once it broke, here's my point. Once it broke and closed below, it can't fight its way back out of that nastiness. Watch. It's just not going to have any of it. So the story might still be there, but the technicals tell you, wait, get out. I mean, just think of the last two charts. If we had just adhered to that first symbol of warning that shot across the bow. Oh, it's Dave. It's another room. It's a private room I've been invited to. It's nothing you've ever heard of, really. Let's do another chart here, and I've got some other ones. Let's see. We got plenty of time here. I got to move my questions box up a little bit so I can. Okay. Let's see. What was I going to do with this one? No, I want to pass on that one. Next one. I don't know what I want to say on this one. Perfect. Okay, here we go. SEDG. All right. Beautiful looking chart. I'd be along this chart and I'd stay along this chart. I would probably get out here. Now, what I'm noticing is that this is a pretty darn looking strong stock, and we talked about this last week. What's coming up behind it? The backstop. Well, there's still a good amount of distance there between, there's 10, 12 points there, maybe more, 15 points. There's nothing wrong with getting out on the close here and saying, if this thing comes back and hits that backstop, I'll take it. We're happy. We're definitely now, okay, so now we're back in. So we got 2 days if we wanted to, if that was our plan. We're out here because this easily could have just said, forget it and gone down here, and we saved ourselves a lot of money. But we got out, we kept it on our radar, we identified it did pick up the backstop, you could have got right back in. There's a interesting scenario of where you could have gotten back in. Let's look for some different types here. Oh, I like this one too. This was one that they were really, really high on. And again, I'm trying to use these examples from some of these. This is a beautiful chart. I would have bought this had I maybe been involved in the story and thought, hey, this could be beautiful. Well, guess what, guys? I'm out. That's all I need to see right there. There's just too much space. These things, this is the do or die point, guys. If they don't bounce off that level, they're going to fail 9 out of 10 times. Oh, maybe I should have stayed. Well, I couldn't get back above. Okay, that was smart. I'm glad I got out. Oh, this thing is just doomed. It's not going to make it. Gosh. So, yeah. Isn't this game fun when you do it like that? Yeah. Let's see.
It is. It's a good lesson.
Yeah, it's a good lesson because it's what everybody that's a newbie trader gravitates towards. And, you know, I'm just trying to help people not get caught up on the story so much. All right, this one's a little bit different, but let's see. All right, let's see what. Okay, you stayed in yesterday. Maybe you got rewarded this day. We'll stay in one more day. Oh, it's not going. It's not following through. Oh, boy. I should probably get out. And this is today. So we don't know how this is going to resolve itself. This is today. So everybody that held on and did not get that follow through, they've now bled through. We now have 2 closing days. I'm not going to stick around for 2 closing days. I'll tell you that. When we get to plug, you'll see that I did stick around 1 day. But if we can't get back up into the game after 2 days, I don't think Watts can. You know, maybe it will. Maybe it'll do what I said earlier and pick up this 20 as a backstop. we don't know, but that's that one. Now let's look at some other scenarios. Let's see what this one was. No, that's not the one I wanted. Let's try this one. No, that's not the one I wanted either. Well, this is kind of funny. Actually, I can't do that because you've already talked about that stock, Gamestop. But all along the way here, didn't close below, no reason to get out. Didn't close below, no reason to get out. Tried to close below, but didn't get out. So it never really closed below. And then, of course, if you're able to stay patient in these things, sometimes they might reward. There was two more I had that might have given a different type of look. Okay, this is the one right here. This is good. Okay. So we're back a few days on this. Looks like this thing has been, for the most part, except for that day, close enough, but riding its 10 period. And we come into this day. Let's click the chart. Oops, I'm frozen here for a second now. It's going to goof on me. There we go. Oh, that's tough. Let's see what that is, though. It's a nice trend. I would give this one a second chance. It's only a few cents below and a nice bottoming tail. If it had closed on lows, I like the bottoming tail. Hey, look at that. Back up into the game. One day, back up into the game. Ooh, a bit of a nasty test, but remember, we try to make our decisions at the end of the day. And this one, what I'm saying here is these 3 days in a row, look at that. They tried to get you out. And this is why I say that's a close one there, but this is why I try to say wait until the close of the day, until you try to decide, am I going to exit this thing or am I going to hold it for another day? I just don't know. So I try to find some sort of a method to keep myself in the game. We'll do one more and then we'll move on to something else. And I blew it. So yeah, I think I was going to show you basically it was trying to hang on, and then it just gave us that double close below, and you got to give up on it, and still today it was trying. So hopefully I'm making sense there. Again, just to rehash, I'm trying to show people that you can have a story, you can have a thesis and why a company should do well, but you might be 6 months early, and you'll have a lot of headache and second guessing yourself in the meantime as the stock goes against you. Just use simple chart analysis to try and confirm your story. And when the chart breaks, you can always get back in. But you know, it's something that I really think can save a lot of new traders a lot of headache, because Andy did it, I did it. There's nothing worse than coming in each day and just looking at that position, and it just sucks another $500 out of you, and you're just like, oh, what am I doing? And you have to rip the Band-Aid off eventually. And when you do, you start to not do that as much. So that's a good thing. Anything you wanted to add to this?
No, it's a very good lesson, especially guys when you're playing these sub $5 stocks and really $1 or $2. I mean, let's face it, the majority of those will probably not be around in another 4 or 5 years. So you just got to be careful. When you're wrong, get out. When you're right on a lot of them, you can kill it. You can make some good money, but you're going to be wrong on more than you're going to be right. Yeah.
Let's make Boxall the poster boy for that. You had 2 chances to get out before the nasty gap got you, and it just hasn't looked back since. All right, how we doing? Yeah, I love, George. I love the long tails and on the tops. So talk a bit more about bottoming tails, and it means it's an intraday reversal, and I will talk about that. It will come up here when I go through my portfolio of silver stocks. We're going to see a little bit of that. I guess we'll do that now.
Do me a favor and hit the trash on Epic. So I those
hit the trash.
Those hot pink raindrops on your Epic pen. Clear it.
Oh,
there we go.
I didn't even see him. Huh.
Oh, really? Okay.
No.
Yeah.
All right. So last week I started something that just kind of went through what I'm currently in long and portfolio is mostly longer term stuff, but I will do the swing scalping stuff with it as well. What?
No, I'm laughing because it was my pen I was seeing. It
was your pen. Yeah, I knew I didn't see anything. Jeez.
All right. I'm sorry. I'll go back to my corner.
Okay, so I want you guys to highlight, as I click through the positions, highlight the blue line, and the blue line goes all the way back here. You can see to this day. So I've been in TGB here since this day. I've talked about it. Look at it riding that beautiful moving average. Hey, picked up the backstop. No harm, no foul. nice push today. It got hung up at $1. Hey, Andy, this could be a go, pause, go for tomorrow. We'll see. But if you don't know, I'm super bullish on silver and gold, but silver more so than gold. I think it's got a lot of catch up to do, and so we're going to see a lot of silver stocks that move in one direction today and a few others. But when it comes to the silver stocks, I'm not swing trading them. I am long-terming them. I feel there's a big move coming, and that's just me. So here's silver today, and this is what George was asking about, a bottoming tail. This is what it looks like intraday. Okay, it's not a perfect tail, but my point is on these silver stocks, we're going to see all of them did not close on lows. They put up a really darn good fight at the end of the day, and intraday reversals will show up as bottoming tails or wicks. Conversely, on the upside, a big stock that runs up early in the morning and then rolls over and closes on lows, that'll look horrible on the daily chart with a big topping wick, topping tail as we call them. So silver, you can see I've been long for a while. I was long and actually did decided to take profits because it got way too far ahead of itself. I thought I can always buy it back, and I did, and just sitting in silver. And then so some of these other stocks, FSM is a silver stock, but again, they're all going to look the same. I've been in since down here. There's the blue line of entry. I'm totally fine, and this is pretty much going to be the thesis for all 4 or 5 of these silver stocks. I'm totally fine with these moving averages coming up here in a day or 2 or 3 of consolidation. I'm fine with that, and you have to be. I mean, if you're going to ride Zoom Media, you know, for a tenfold, you got to sit through some pullbacks. And so swing trading is all about being patient and understanding that it's 3 steps forward and 2 steps back sometimes, or hopefully 1.5 step back. But probably going to be a little bit of consolidation coming up in silver. I'm not trading options in these, Chris, no. Oh, Rickety Rocket. Well, this is a fun one because this one has earnings tomorrow. Guess what? I'm going to break my rules. I just like, okay, I like the story. And guess what? Chart confirms the story, doesn't it, Andy?
It does. It does. Making me a little bit nervous. A lot that people are really buying it up in after hours, and so. But anyway,
it's a new issue, as you can see. It's a new issue, and its most recent consolidation didn't even touch the 10 period, which to me signals extra strength. It's not a big position. If it drops 5 points tomorrow, it's not going to hurt me. But we're going to do it. Why not? It seems like, I mean, let's talk about the story here for a minute. Interest rates have never been lower. Homes on my block, they don't even get a chance to put the sign up. It's sold within 3 bids within 24 hours. It's absolutely insane out there right now. And there's no reason to think that Rocket will be one of the COVID benefactors that we've talked about. They're relatively new to the market, but oh well, the point on this one is I'm going to hold. If Rocket had not done this and Rocket kind of closed right here, Andy and I would not be holding down here probably. We got a little bit of a cushion, so we're going to play that cushion and roll the dice. Here comes another. Go ahead. Wait, say something.
No, I was just going to say also the refis have been just going crazy now, and look at the home builders. I mean, look at all the, they're doing pretty good.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. It all ties together. All roads lead to Rocket. Another silver that was very close to trying to put in a dark cloud. Silver miner. This one's been a champ, really. I don't know what the deal is with this, but another nice big close off the lows. We didn't get close on the lows, so I'm perfectly fine with some sideways action. To say it again, for the next day or 2 in silver miners. We'll take that. And this brings us to our trade of the week. My entry was yesterday, as you can see there. I took it just a couple seconds after the open. I got the 12-cent price. And we talked about that, so there's nothing to add there. This is a small cap stock that's nothing to do with silver or anything. There's a story, but I'm going to let the chart tell me what to do. Bought it yesterday, and the funny thing was I really thought I added to it. So the blue line was down here, then I added to it, and the blue line averaged up here. I was really expecting the 1.5-day move that I could have faded out of today, but I didn't get it. But here's something I want to point out on this trade. Sometimes the things we didn't get might be a blessing, because if this thing had gapped up and basically it would have exhausted itself into this level of resistance and probably wouldn't have lasted very long, just based on experience, the way these things trade. But the fact that it came in today, tried to sell off on the open, big reversal wick intraday, there's your reversal wick on the 15-minute chart, and never looked back. So it kind of put the sellers on notice, hey, the buyers are here to stay, and we just kind of worked off a little consolidation from yesterday. We might have a little bit more gas in the tank to push through and try again tomorrow. But nonetheless, I will still be a seller of at least probably half up here at that blue line if I can get it. And that's why the blue line is there, to let me know that, hey, you might want to sell half if we get it tomorrow. So that is not a long term, that is a swing scalp. This is another, this one's fun. This is a, for some reason, SVM is a wonderful silver mining stock, but Coeur d'Alene can't get out of its own way, being patient. But this is the runt of the litter, so to speak. It just doesn't want to perform, but I have faith that it will eventually find its way and move out of that range. So I'm actually barely underwater in that one. Where was it? CDE? Yeah, pretty much flat. And then lastly, this thing is going to need to, this is a great example. Here we go, guys. Guess what I was watching at the close for this GPL? There's no backstop there. The only backstop is down here at the 50. So of all the things I was ready to trim today, it was going to be this one. And it gave me just enough at the close, and the backdrop of silver and my bullish stance on silver kept me in this one. But this one was close to being cut today because I don't really have a great position in that one. And if it fails, then some of the others might fail. So that's what's currently in my swing position. For the next 5 minutes or so, we can go through some questions. And if you guys want to put a chart up, I can look at the chart, and Andy and myself can give you an opinion of it. Let's see. Looking at the questions here. Yeah, thanks. Good to know, Stephen. You must be in the business. All right, Bloomin', huh? Oh, those restaurants, boy, they're hit or miss right now. Well, I took my eye off them. What's Play doing? Play's probably doing well too. That's another one that I got out of because I followed my rules. But back to the question of Bloomin', it's bloomin', and it had a really nice day today. I don't know if there's earnings or news, but that's a really nice day. So profit mode, if you're in this thing and you're thinking about taking a profit tomorrow, what I would watch is this moving average right here. If it starts to creep below this moving average intraday, this move might be ready for some pullback and some consolidation. Lulu, another half. I like the question, the way you phrased it. Another half day of swing or keep. Dave, that is moving day in Lulu. Look at this. Big green candle coming out of consolidation, never broke its intraday trend. You're on day one of what I would call a day and a half trade. If you get a big giant gap tomorrow, I wouldn't sneeze at taking a third off right on the gap open and see if there's any push behind it. But day and a half, sometimes, this is Lulu, and these probably are all-time highs. So, God, it could go even more. Who knows? But good thing you didn't sell it today. You waited till the close. It closed on highs. There's no reason to close a swing trade that looks like this with a green candle closing on highs, breaking out of congestion, I might add. That was a good question. Oh, the UUP, very familiar with the dollar. It tried to come back today. That's why silver quickly and gold quickly came back. But look at the other side of the mountain here. The 10 period is holding it down. When it breaks the 10 period, look, it can't get through the backstop of the 20. Just flip everything upside down. Now, if UUP posts a close above this 20-day moving average, I should probably be wise and maybe at least thin out some of my silver because I'm disgustingly overweight. It's going to track gold, and gold is going to track the dollar, and that's the UUP dollar. For Caterpillar, nice looking day in Caterpillar. We call this moving day too. Should have some follow through tomorrow in Caterpillar, I would expect. Never breached its intraday moving average. You had two beautiful intraday tests to tell you don't get out of this thing. And then when it closes like that, nice green candle, hopefully it follows through tomorrow. Deer is probably similar. You're going to have probably some follow through tomorrow in Deer. Yep. DocuSign. I was looking at this one earlier. Yeah, this is a COVID winner. How about that? You're not showing up to sign documents in escrow offices anymore, I would imagine.
Oh man, there's way too many stupid looking stocks.
Well, Andy, let me just go back to where did we start the presentation today?
I know. Yeah, exactly.
We are approaching fear of missing out melt up, and that's why there are too many stupid stocks out there. It's a good looking chart. In that one, DocuSign, probably some follow through tomorrow. Obviously being held by the 20 period in EVR, I'm sorry, the 200-day moving average in EVRI, it'd be nice to see that stock get a close above the 200-day moving average. Avaya, the money, the orange money.
Orange rabbits.
Orange rabbits.
Squirrels, whatever they are.
The orange rabbits.
Rabbits.
Good looking recovery off the backstop, and boom, back closed through the 10 period, looking good and strong in that one. I'm winding up here, so no more symbols. Disney off big earnings here, pulled back to its moving average. Can't say anything bad about it. It's probably in the midst of more consolidation. ISRG, really nice move. Look at that long, protracted, tight range. And where does the range take it? It comes from where it came. It continued the same direction. Very nice looking chart. Probably might want to think about maybe taking a little bit off the table if you're a short-term trader, into strength anyway. The big C as in Citigroup. I assume that's what you mean. It's doing nothing. It's night, it's sleep. Banks are not the winners in COVID, so it's just not really doing a whole lot there. Would you expect follow through on ITB? I would expect my chart to freeze the minute I type it. So we'll do ITB, we'll do Etsy, and then Kirk, and then we'll bring in Scott. Would you expect follow through on ITB? Yeah, I would.
Nice.
I expect more follow through on sideways action. This is correct. This is price corrective action, but you took out a nice 6-day red candle bar reversal. I would expect some price. I would expect, yeah. Let's just put it this way. I think 57.25 is going to be tested again up there at highs. Maybe not tomorrow, but probably soon. Last one, Etsy. Just kind of in no man's land there. I believe in the story of Etsy, as we were talking about, but the chart is kind of giving us conflicting signals. It broke through the backstop. It did find its footing at the 50, so the stock is still a decent stock because it's above its 50 in the blue line. Need to see a close above these moving averages because right now it's still a bit under pressure. We'll do 2 more, Kirk and NVIDIA. This was the AI trade today. I'd like to see some follow through tomorrow. It just kind of went sideways today after bottoming out. I don't really have an opinion other than it did ugly enough. It did get hung up right there at the 10 period moving average. It's going to have to fight its way through that, and I don't know what the chances of it for doing that tomorrow. Last one, we'll bring in Scott. It's probably a good one to end on. Brian Shannon told me his mom bought $400 worth of NVIDIA back at 12.
Nice.
Hasn't looked at it. It's worth I forgot what she paid for it, but it's worth a lot of money now.
Sure it is.
Okay, so NVIDIA is showing us in hindsight what a great chart it is, but we've had 3 big days here of green movement. I'd be a little leery. You got a lot of space up here between the current price and the moving average. If you're fearless and you think there's going to be more momentum, then I would say tomorrow switch your gears to watch the 15-minute chart and make sure that this thing stays well above the 10 simple moving average on a 15-minute chart. So that's all I've got. Thanks for all your questions. We'll bring in Scott if anybody's thinking about signing up. Got some announcements. Check it out.
All right, thanks everyone. Yeah, a couple items on the way out. There's an ebook that everyone should check out, have a copy of. It's free, easy to grab. Just go to trade-ideas.com/earnings, and it'll teach you all about how to use earnings season to your advantage, include some formulas you can employ. There is a podcast that we release periodically. There's been some good ones out this year. Go ahead and check those out. Just search for Trade Ideas Podcast wherever you listen to your pods. Add us as a subscription. And if you're ready to catch the next new one when it comes out, check out the previous episodes. The code SUMMERTIME is good for 15% off your first month or year of any Trade Ideas subscription or upgrade from standard to premium. So go ahead and take advantage of that if you're not yet a subscriber, or if you're on standard and you want to upgrade. You can find Steve on Twitter at Today Trader. Also check out at Trade Ideas. Facebook.com/Trade Ideas Pro is the Facebook page to share with all your friends and like. And any questions at all, send them to info@trade-ideas.com. That goes to our help desk. We have recorded this, and we're going to have the recording up later on tonight or tomorrow. We'll send you an email reminder from GoToWebinar with a link to the playlist where you can find it. Thanks, Steve. Thanks, Andy. Thanks, everyone.
Great. See you next time, guys.